Tim Boyum. Let's get right to it because, hey, if it wasn't the Friday before Christmas, we didn't have a major news day, what Friday would it be? The budget drama continues on Capitol Hill as we edge closer to a shutdown on the federal government tonight. Our Washington reporter Kevin Frey joins us with the latest from Capitol Hill. He's been following this all day. Kevin, what is the latest?
I want to correct you on one thing, Tim. It seems to be every Friday night at this point that there's major breaking news. But yes, in terms of the latest, well, quite frankly, it's kind of a wait-and-see game at the moment. There's been a lot of movement over the past couple hours. We have seen the Vice President and other members of the White House team up here on the Hill meeting with senators and members of the House trying to forge some form of agreement about this short stopgap budget bill that would have gotten us to February. Of course, the disagreement really all centers in on the border wall. If you remember, just to kind of set the scene for where we are, the House recently passed a bill that includes money for the border wall. The Senate's not going to be able to pass that bill. There's just simply not enough votes, so they're trying to forge some form of agreement. Now, one of the folks that is really leading the charge for the border wall funding is one of North Carolina's own, Mark Meadows, of course, the head of the House Freedom Caucus. He is one of the ones advocating for this change, and he was asked recently by the Washington Post that if there is indeed a shutdown, what do you say to the folks who are furloughed? He said, quote, that's essentially what you get when you work in federal government. You have to be that's part of the deal. We followed up with him and asked him exactly what he would say to those in his own community that would be furloughed. Here's what he told us.
Yeah, I don't think any of us want to shut down. I know I don't want to shut down those federal workers. They work very hard and truly are very diligent in their efforts. And yet at the same time, we have a history of making sure that they're made whole. And I think the pressure is incumbent upon all of us, Republican and Democrat, to come together, find a solution.
Now, of course, the president wanted about $5 billion for that wall. We've been hearing for all of our Spectrum News reporters all sorts of figures about potential middle grounds that they might be able to agree to. I spoke to Meadows a little earlier in the hallway, and he told me, to his knowledge, there is no deal. So really a lot of questions leading up to that midnight deadline. A lot to watch, a lot could play out, or we could be going into a shutdown, and they could be working through the weekend, Tim.
Yeah, and to show you the chaos, I don't even know if you could see, Kevin, but Mark Meadows and Jim Jordan were sliding past you there as you were tossing to that soundbite of Mark Meadows. What do we know about what's going to happen if a deal doesn't get done tonight? There's still a lot of questions, obviously.
Yes, but what we do know, at least, we can firm up that in terms of the folks that will be furloughed, hundreds of thousands of federal employees would be basically either forced to work without pay or they would be furloughed. There would be different issues when it comes to passports, getting those applications completed. Of course, the holiday would interfere with that already. And other issues pertaining to a shutdown. This is, of course, only a partial shutdown. Most of the federal government at this point is funded, but it's enough to cause some disruption and, of course, heartache to folks over the holiday season, Tim.
All right, so the first step back today, the president signing that. A lot of North Carolina lawmakers glad this is happening.
Yeah, indeed. And this is something that kind of flew under the radar this week. We're talking about so much division here on the Hill. This was really a partisanship that we haven't seen a lot of. This is that criminal justice reform legislation that would deal with allowing some judges a little more discretion over sentencing for certain drug crimes at the federal level. There was also some changes and a renewed focus on rehabilitation services so people don't go back into prison and perhaps can leave a little earlier. So this is something that is really being celebrated by members of the North Carolina delegation, including one of the co-sponsors, Senator Tom Tillis, who likes to talk about how and likes to brag that he helped oversee criminal justice reform in the state level when he was Speaker of the House, and now he's participating in that at the state level. Take a listen.
It's a very smart bill. It's very consistent with what we did in North Carolina with the Justice Reinvestment. And I think it's a sound policy that's going to prove to be life-transforming for a number of people in the prison system and done in a safe way that's smart on rehabilitation, not soft on crime.
Just one note about this bill. It only deals with the federal prison system, the federal criminal justice system, which is only a small percentage of those who are incarcerated across the entire country, Tim.
All right, Kevin, hang in there. Thank you. Appreciate the update from Washington, as always. Meanwhile, it was